So, as you all know, I was told, I don't read the news. Someone actually told me that, I don't remember his name exactly, but the leader of Iran was pretty much executed by, um, uh, I guess, our country with the help of another country or something. And what occurred to me is that he has been in power, as far as I know, for over 30 years. His part of his regime. I've just known that since I was in high school. When he died today, okay, um, in our time, it would be around mid morning. Today, mid morning, I felt a surge of energy that I can't explain. And I felt, um, I felt like something happened. All right, for that's the best way I can put it. And the same thing happened when I had relatives that passed away. Like my uncle Raymond, he passed away about 2.5 years ago. And the day he passed away, I didn't know because I heard about a week later. Some relative, my mother told me, and her relatives told her, but I didn't hear about it until a week later. I remember the day he died, I was seeing pennies everywhere. And I know that whenever I went to his house and I was a kid, he would have pennies everywhere around his house, just strewn around, like, you know. And then that week he died, and the day he died, that I was told he passed away, um, from it was cancer, but he's in heaven now, I'm sure. He was a great uncle, but there were pennies everywhere. I remember I finding pennies in my car. There were pennies at my the job I was working at. There were pennies on the floor just wherever I went. Um, when I went to convenience store, I remember there was, and you know those little cup holders they have right there on the counter. Usually there's people put change in there as like a tip or something, or just they don't want the change, so they throw it in that little bowl cup thing. I remember I went to a convenience store around that time, very close to it, or the day he died, and the only change that was in there was pennies. And that was before this whole penny thing where no one wants pennies anymore. This was 2.5 years ago. So my whole point here is that when people pass into the next world, doesn't matter who they are, or if they're a relative, or if they're, in my case, relatives and people who are very powerful, okay? Um, I can feel the energy. Like I know what happened, but I don't know it yet, but my body already knows what happened. Or supernaturally, like my spirit knows what went down. Because today I woke up, right? And I worked out for a while, showered, grabbed a little thing of coffee, and I remember sitting down on my computer here to check my email, and all of a sudden it's like my subconscious said, "Wow, what?" And I don't read the news. I didn't open anything. I didn't, nobody, this was a point where nobody told me yet. I was just opening my computer, checking my email because I'm, trying to get some stuff rolling. And my brain literally told me, um, wow, what? Like I just knew that something happened and my brain already was reacting, but I was just sitting here thinking, huh, that's weird. I know I just heard that something went through, but I didn't know it. And I just kind of, it's like the energy was here, but I didn't know why. I just kind of accepted it and shrugged it off. And then I went out to the store and I started, when I was driving, I saw repeated numbers. I saw a license plate that said, a bunch of letters, and then it said 444. And then uh, uh, where was I? And I saw another repeating number. Um, oh, that was it. And my wallet, I was paying and I pulled out one of my cards. And I usually never pay attention to this, but for some reason today, when I pulled out my card from my wallet, I saw another card behind it because you keep cards stacked in the wallet. and the number was poking out and it said 888. And so I noticed that. I was like, wait, how come I never saw that before? And so I saw 444 888, and then I looked at the clock when I got home randomly. I just looked at the clock as I walked by my my oven clock on the oven thing, and it said 5:55 p.m. Okay, that was almost 2 hours ago. And then a few mornings before that, like a few days before this, I woke up at 4:44 a.m. Okay, and I'm not looking to do this. I'm not actively like checking the clock. I barely go on my phone. I don't even have my phone on me right now. I keep it upstairs. It's like when I go out, I usually sometimes I don't even take my phone. Like today, I didn't take my phone with me. When I go to church, I don't take my phone. It's like I don't even care about my phone. My phone's great, but I'm not on it. But whenever I happen to pull out my phone and look, it says 1:11 p.m. or 2:42 or 1:23. And it doesn't happen like succession like every time, but I feel like in moments where I'm transitioning from one task to another and I just happen to check the time to see where I'm at in the day, yeah, usually it's a repeating number. Like when I was driving today, and then when I was paying with my card today, I was getting through the store dealing with all this energy and dealing with all these, all the people. And I was just like trying to relax. I was scanning myself. I was just trying to, relax, pull out my card, 888. I'm like, I never saw that before. So, for you, viewer, watching this, I just want to tell you that if this stuff happens to you, it's usually not an accident. It's actually not an accident. It's not a coincidence. I don't think it is. But And it's not necessarily about the repeating numbers and what they stand for. It's about the synchronicities that the universe is actually letting you know that whatever you're doing, you're in alignment. And having on that note, like I said, talked about when people pass away, I feel the energy, like I know they passed away. All right, even if they're on the other side of the world, my body tells me something happened, and I have to give it reverence. Doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, but I always have this sensational feeling where I cannot ignore it. And sure enough, yeah, my brother texted me and said, "Hey, did you hear about, the what's going on the news?" And um about, and I was like, "For real, whoa." And sure enough, it's true, I guess. Apparently, it is true. And I'm not going to get into politics. I don't even care about politics, but I just, I knew something was up today. Something felt different. And so, right when I said that, by the way, speaking of numbers, it said 818 on my recorder right here. So, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you, but um, I just wanted to make this video and share because I've been told lately to, I want to keep making content. I want to see where the channel is going to go. And not only that, but um, I'm starting to actually reach more people than I thought I would. Um, and this is a really good sign. And whoever's viewing this, I care about you, even though I don't know you. And hopefully, I know who I am. I I had an epiphany a while back, and I know what my mission is, even though I'm being told otherwise. What I mean by that is I'm being told to do, follow this formula and, you know, get a job and get married and all this stuff. That's what I mean. I'm being told how to live my life. So it's like I'm trying to juggle um keeping this life under wraps when I'm do my mission under wraps because I know if people know they're not gonna take it kindly. But at the same time, this I know my mission, and like I said, I had an epiphany a while back, and I instantly knew I'm a healer. That's why when I go around people, they want to be around me. I'm able to make people feel something they never felt before just by being me. And for the first time ever, my 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 spirit, I guess, is actually accepting that. And yeah, it's kind of hard to accept, and I'm still adjusting to it. And like I said, it requires kind of a esoteric lifestyle in a way. But if you see my channel, I think my I don't know what it's called, but the account name is The Healer Jeff, because I realize that my mission is to heal in whatever way that is possible. In fact, I was out in public yesterday. If you want to hear something funny, and I was at a I was at a job interview, okay? Another job interview, and the manager who was interviewing me. He was telling me about his employees, and he said that this XYZ employees, they're actually they work here part time, and they're nurses at this such and such hospital, and they really like that balance. They can help people and then come here and go to work, or he was basically saying that he has people who are very kind and have outgoing personalities, and then they come to his job, his workplace that he manages, and then they kind of emulate that with the other job they're working, because I guess these are people who work two jobs, okay? And the funny thing is that this is the third time in a very in a within about 2.5 to 3 months that people have told me about, like, you should be a nurse, or they said stuff like I just said. That person's a nurse part time and they work here too, which is, I don't know why he told me that. I didn't need to know that, but people keep bringing that stuff up. And again, I think this is a universe or some type of spirit or something telling me that, you know, not to be a nurse necessarily, okay, but it's like what I said with the angel numbers. It's not necessarily what they mean, but it's what they represent. So it's not really what people are telling me to be a nurse, or if I should be, or trying to get me thinking about it, or trying to like get me to, you know, uh be impressed by these people who are nurses out here. But I think that the universe is trying to tell me something by bringing people who are mentioning that kind of those kind of acts of service. And so again, like, that's my whole point, is that's not a coincidence. I think that this is like the third time that people have talked about nursing with me and working at a hospital. All right, and they just do it to me and they don't even have to. So um that's how I know. That's how I know it's a confirmation that I finally figured out what my mission is, and that is why I think there's a lot of people who don't really. There's people who I go around, and again, I can tell I'm healing them in some way. I'm kind of touching their life a little bit, but then there's other people I go around who want nothing to do with me, because I think maybe those are the people who they like they know, they kind of subconsciously, their spirit, they're not aware of their spirit, but deep down their spirit knows, like, it's like their spirit recognizes what my spirit is, but their spirit's not going to tell their brain that. So but our spirits are talking to each other, is what I'm trying to say. And so they automatically don't really want anything to do with me, because you know they don't want to be healed, or they are carrying something really, really dark inside, or they're just very, hurt people. And so it's like I said, sometimes I said in a previous video, people can't be saved. Sometimes you can't pull people through doors that are only meant for you to walk through. So you can try to tell your family, you can try to help your family, you can try to help your friends, right? You can try to, inspire your coworkers, but sometimes you're going to see that there's going to be people that respect you and value you and see that you're a light, like a lighthouse, and there's people who are going to not want nothing to do with you. They're just going to, you can't pull them, you can't make them drink the water. You can lead them to the well, you can't make them drink. You can lead them to the door, you can't pull them through. So um yeah, I kind of went on a rant there. I kind of went all over the place, but yeah, I just wanted to make this video and say that I think something is definitely happening in, you know, well, we all know, if you're watching this channel, I'm sure you get it. You know that it's like the world has changed, and, stuff is happening right now, and it's all spiritual, okay? But in my life personally, as a young man, um, in his mid 20s, or late 20s actually, um, approaching 30, uh, in a few years, I can tell you as I'm making this video right now that my life is completely shifting. And it's not maybe not in the tangible sense, like money wise, or like I'm having a lot of friends now, or I'm in a relationship, or anything like that, or it's not nothing like that. But all I'm saying is I can feel the shift. I'm so tapped in. And I'm not trying to like impress you or anything, but I'm just trying to let y'all know that if you're watching this channel and you're at this video, or you've seen my past videos, and you actually believe what I'm saying, or just know that you're not trust your intuition, because I know that I don't have to convince you I'm a healer. I am a healer. And the stuff I talk about may be all over the place, but were if you were to tell me anything about your life, if you were to tell me anything, any hurt, any good you've had, any hurt you've been through, or any anything at all, pain, ecstasy, just whatever, I guarantee I will have something to say. I will have some advice or encouragement to offer, because that's what I'm here for. And what the thing is that I encourage you, and how do I put this to words? You have to believe in God's promise. If you don't need religion or a church to have faith. And if you have faith in God, he will always keep his promise for you, which means protection, provision, a place in the heavenly realm, and his I guess it's called his anointing, his like King David, his blessing. So, having said that, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, everyone, have a great night.